All right, good day, America, and welcome to Headline Hits with LW. It is Wednesday, July the 20th, 2022. How's everybody doing today? um, let's see, a few things in the news, and a couple of them I'm just kind of gonna drop the title, skip over. If you guys want to catch it, you can find it in Breitbart. But this one here, I want to tell you guys in this article right here how powerful it is for all of us to unite, to have our voices heard. And believe me, your dollar is a vote. Your dollar is powerful. I want you guys to realize that. Why is that? Well, Netflix carnage. Netflix loses 1 million subscribers, largest loss of consumers in company history. Why is that? Well, Netflix has been putting out some things that conservatives and patriots totally disagree with. They are uh, a propaganda machine. They put out uh, movies and videos and stuff that encourage child grooming. And a lot of us have decided, no more. We're not going to support this company. We're not going to spend our money at Netflix. And so they're taking a huge first and second quarter loss this year. And that's a big deal. And how did that happen? That happened because you guys are listening to what we put out and you guys are saying we won't support that. So in that same sentence, folks, I just want to let you know that how powerful your dollar is. Let's quit supporting BlackRock, Vanguard, State Street, George Soros, Bill Gates, and the rest of them. So instead of spending your money at Walmart, instead of spending your money at some of these places that Vanguard, BlackRock buy shelf space on, buying Colgate, Crest, Tide, why don't you guys join us over at lwnfliptheswitch.com? There are millions of patriots who have made that move, shifted over there, and there is a patriot-owned company there that we have all started shopping at. I've been shopping there since October of last year. The quality is good, the prices are good, and more importantly, I'm not supporting Walmart, Target, or any of the big box stores. So if you guys want to check it out, go to lwnfliptheswitch.com. There is an application form there. You can fill it out, send us your information, and then a patriot just like me, a patriot just like you will reach out to you and we'll show you the store. It's an online shopping experience, and I haven't regretted it, not one bit. All right, next headline here. I'm just going to hit this real quick because guess what? I don't really care about Boris Johnson. I'm just glad that he's gone. Hasta la vista, baby. Boris Johnson's final words to Parliament as Prime Minister. Boris Johnson signed off as his final appearance before Parliament as Prime Minister's questions, inciting a particular California governor known for the remarking, "I'll be back," telling the chamber, "Hasta la vista, baby." United Kingdom Prime Minister Boris Johnson faced the House of Commons on Wednesday for the weekly ritual of Prime Minister's questions, the last to take place before the House goes into its summer recession. Recess. Johnson's appearance would consequently be the last PMQs of his time in power, assuming a handover to the next leader of the governing party takes place as planned in September on September 5th. Now, that's kind of weird. I just now read that for the third time, and that just kind of, I don't know, that's kind of odd. That assuming, listen to the sentence, assuming a handover to the next leader of the governing party takes place as planned on September 5th. Huh. All right. Well, I'm going to leave that there. I don't know what that's about, but we're going to move on to the next headline. All right. Now, this here, one, I'm going to call BS on, and two, it's absolutely disgusting. These people are, it definitely charges me up when I read these articles because I just think of the children and what is going on with our children. And when is enough going to be enough for us as parents? Is the right thing going to be every patriot parent in America to pull their kids out of public schools, at this point, I think it's a wise decision. Seriously, Arizona students taught only 4% of men and 2% of women exclusively heterosexual. What is heterosexual? Straight. It's not gay. It's straight, right? So a psychology teacher in Arizona's Scottsdale Unified School District, which I'm finding a pattern here. Every time I report the news and we're talking about this sexuality or sexualizing our students and our kids and the grooming and all the transgender, I haven't quite put my finger on it yet, but I did ask Denise behind the scenes because she is a retired educator. What does unified school district mean? Because it seems to be popping up everywhere that I report, and I need to figure out, is there something behind that? Is every school in America part of the unified school district, or is it only certain states? I don't know. But anyway, so this psychology teacher in Arizona taught their students that only 4% of men and 2% of women are exclusively heterosexual, and that sexuality is a continuum, according to a report. Now, listen to this. Desert Mountain High School teacher Mackenzie presented a slideshow to students on sexuality and sexual orientation that teaches, listen to this, homosexual behavior seems to be a natural part of the animal world. What does that mean? That means sex with the same that means sexual activity with the same sex. And they're telling their students that that is just a big part of our world and that it spans human history. And that only 2% of men are heterosexual and only 4% 4% of men and 2% of women. So that means that 96% of men just sleep with everybody and anything, and 98% of women do the same thing. That's what they're teaching our children, folks. And then we move to Brooklyn. So we jump from Arizona over to Brooklyn. Brooklyn Public Library advertises pornographic books to teens. A Brooklyn Public Library is holding a campaign that seeks to share controversial, sexually explicit books with teens. The library campaign, called Books Unbanned, specifically seeks to give teens access to books that showcase pornographic material. On the Books Banned page, Brooklyn Public Library points out that most targeted books were for teen audience and were by or about Black or LGBTQIA plus 24 persons, blah 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 blah. It just keeps going on and on and on and on, but does not reference the sexually explicit and often graphic nature of many of the titles. I got to leave that right there. It's giving me a headache just to read the article. So, what the hell? What the hell has become of not only our public schools but our public libraries, our colleges, our universities, our high schools, our middle schools, our grade schools, our elementary schools? This is a breeding ground across America to, in my opinion, enslave our youth, our young, and groom them into sexuality and into transgenderism, and man, it just goes on and on and on. I think it's time for parents to make that move, to pull your kids out of public school. All right, I'm going to touch on this just for a brief second here. Found this very interesting. Dutch farmers protest, and what they say is the way to control the people is by controlling their food supply. I'm going to leave that right there. That's all that needs to be said. All right. This one I found pretty interesting. Troy Nails grills Secretary Pete Buttigieg on Biden's health fitness for office. Representative Troy Nails, a Republican from Texas, grilled Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg on Tuesday on whether he has discussed, listen to this, using the 25th Amendment to remove President Joe Biden from office. Quote, my question for you, sir, is have you spoken to any other cabinet members about implementing the 25th Amendment on President Biden? Niels asked Buttigieg during a Transportation Committee hearing. Buttigieg, in response, said that, quote, first of all, I'm glad to have a president who can ride a bike. Can he? I've seen him tipped over a few times. And I will look beyond the insulting nature of that question and make that clear that the president of the United States, before he trailed off, Buttigieg also said, of course not, in response to Neil's question. Here's why I brought this to your attention. You can believe that the Democrat Party, the left, may in fact remove President whatever his name is, well, the resident, whatever you want to call him, from office. Maybe they're going to put Hills Up in replace to him, or you could be in the middle and believe that what happened on November of 2020 is going to be reversed, and that's going to be the removal of this clown. Or you can believe so far to the right that the white hats are in charge and the military may come in and remove old Biden from office. Whichever of the three you believe, what I'm telling you is they are already planting the seed that something is about to happen and that Biden will, in fact, be removed. Mark my words. All right, let's talk about this. I thought that this was actually a very good story, and I want to spotlight it. 22-year-old Alicia Dickin neutralized mass shooter 15 seconds into the attack. Greenwood Police Chief James Eisen corrected the record on Tuesday by noting that 22-year-old Alicia Dickin opened fire on the Indiana Mall mass shooter and neutralized him just 15 seconds after the attack begun. Now, the New York Post points out that Eisen had initially said that Dickin returned fire 2 minutes after the attack, but on Tuesday, Eisen said this error was simply a result of misreading notes during the press conference. I feel the need to correct it immediately. He went on to say that the surveillance video shows that the suspect exited the restroom at 5:56 and 48 seconds p.m. and he was neutralized by Dickinson at 5:57 and 3 seconds p.m. Breitbart News reported that Dickinson was able to carry a gun for self-defense because of Indiana's constitutional carry provision. 25 states have constitutional carries. Those states are Alabama, Alaska, Arizona, Arkansas, Georgia, Idaho, Indiana, Ohio, Kansas, Kentucky, Maine, Mississippi, Missouri, Montana, New Hampshire, North Dakota, Ohio, Oklahoma, South Dakota, Tennessee, Texas, Utah, Vermont, West Virginia, and followed up by Wyoming. Now, when I first reported about constitutional carries, I think we were somewhere around 16. And if you go back to my headline hits, I probably reported that somewhere, I'm guessing, around maybe 3, maybe 4 months ago. So now what I'm telling you, it is almost doubled in size for constitutional carries across the United States. Folks, that's a win. Now, with that being said, with them praising him to be a hero, here's the left spin to that. Leftists lash out. 22-year-old who stopped mall mass shooting was no, quote, good Samaritan. I mean, you can't even make this stuff up. Leftists are pushing back against the praise being poured out on 22-year-old Alicia Dickin by claiming he was, quote, no good Samaritan. On July 19th, 2022, Breitbart News noted that Dickin was receiving praise from police, mayors, and the very mall, Greenwood Park Mall, where Sunday's attempt of mass shooting occurred. He had his handgun on him thanks to the constitutional carry and was able to engage and immediately kill the attacker before the attacker could further execute his horrendous act. A common statement and praise poured out was that Dickinson was, quote, a good Samaritan, but some of the left could not handle the fact that Dickinson was armed and ready to take care of business. For example, David Levitt tweeted, "You'd never need a good Samaritan with a gun at the Greenwood Park Mall or at any place if there wasn't any guns to begin with." Now I'm going to stop right there with that article. If you want to read more, you can catch it in Breitbart. Here is my take on this. If you look at the facts, if you look at the numbers, you will find that a lot of red states, a lot of the conservative states, and probably a lot of these 25 states out there that have constitutional carry have a lot less crime happening in those states and those cities than you'll find in the states of California, New York, Chicago, Illinois, anywhere else in the United States. Why is that? Because I believe that constitutional carries, one, is our constitutional right, and two, in those states, criminals don't know who's carrying. They have no clue. So for them to go into a restaurant, church, or anywhere else is more than suicide. They're not even going to get their horrendous act off the ground because they'll, again, be neutralized very quickly. Who knows how many civilians will be packing in places like that? So with the left trying to spin this as he's not a good Samaritan and that, you know what, if we just didn't have any guns, we wouldn't have any crime. Well, that's a load of crap because we all know that criminals will continue to get firearms, weapons, they use vehicles, they use bats, they use all kinds of things. And as citizens of the United States, we have a constitutional right to protect and defend ourselves and our property. Do you think for 1 second that any of these congressmen or congresswomen are not armed, have armed security around them? So how is it okay for them to have armed security to protect them, but the rest of society should just go unarmed and just take a beating? Well, that's a bunch of crap. All right, let's talk about the elephant in the room. We all saw it. We all heard it. Of course, real quick, yeah, there was an explosion at the Hoover Dam yesterday. I don't know. I haven't seen anything in the news about it quite yet, but I'm sure it'll surface. But anyway, with that being said, here's the other elephant in the room, which is OAC and her pack of hyenas. AOC pretends to be handcuffed after arrest at abortion protest outside Supreme Court. Far left representative AOC on Tuesday seemingly pretended to be handcuffed before being escorted away during a pro abortion protest outside the Supreme Court, generating mockery across social media. As U.S. Capitol Police arrested over a dozen members of Congress. The protest took place on Tuesday and furthered several lawmakers and some who were actually arrested. Now, she got made fun of. People were putting out tweets saying how fake she really is, how it was so fake, just like when she fake cried. I mean, this is all nothing but a political stunt, and her pack of hyenas, I think, eventually are going to get what they deserve, which is justice. But this is what I want to drop a little nugget right here for you guys. So, the U.S. Capitol Police actually put out a tweet yesterday stating that they arrested a number of Congress members of Congress, and that number was 17. That's what it says. That arrest number includes 17 members of Congress. Why 17? I don't know, but I'm going to leave that right there for you guys. Have a great day. I'll be back on later this afternoon at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for Podbean, and I have a great show planned for you guys tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Snafu is back with us with Andy, and it's going to be a great night tonight, so don't miss out. All right, God bless. Love you guys. Catch you on the next one.